Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Welcome back, you guys. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
I don't know why I started off like that.
What? What'd you do? You sounded normal.
Did I? That's how I normally sound. You guys.
Do you want to try it again?
No, not at all. Happy Easter, everybody. It's your favorites. We're back for another week of podcasting and shenanigans.
Yes.
And you know what? If our day fell on Easter Sunday, friends.
Yeah, record day.
Yeah, happy Easter to those who celebrate.
Yes, Christas Nestis.
And yes, Christasi Nesties. And is that what it is?
Sure, it's Greek. It's all Greek to me.
Amen. That was a really nice polished color, by the way. OPI.
It's all. I remember them.
Yeah.
They had like a whole little Greek collection of like these bright colors.
They always do those. That was a great collection.
Do they still do puns?
I don't know. Look at us going left already.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, guys.
I like nail
this
art.
Is what we do.
Did you see my nail art?
I did see
I
your
had
nail
like
art.
it
Did you
looks
see
like
mine?
Easter's. I didn't.
Boom.
Lovely. Yeah.
So nice. We're
So
fancy, you
that's
guys, for
why.
Easter. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We
No.
actually do have a book this week. So how proud
We're
are
pretty
you of
proud.
us?
I'm proud of us.
I am too, friend.
But I'm always proud of us.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I do want us to, keep striving, of course. But
It's like I think we're doing great.
all
We're
things
nailing it.
considered, especially after going to the podcast summit, I was like, yeah, we are doing our thing.
Okay, good. I'm glad you feel that way. I feel the same. So let's get into it, friends. So the book that we're reviewing this week, you guys, is called The House on Mango Street. This is a novel by Sandra Cisneros. And it's a classic coming-of-age novel told through a poetic vignettes about a young Latina girl named Esperanza Cordero growing up in a poor Latino neighborhood in Chicago. The story follows Esperanza as she grapples with her identity, dreams of a better life, and navigates themes of poverty, gender, and cultural heritage, ultimately finding her voice and power through writing. So that's what we're getting into today, you guys. And I guess before we do, we should go ahead and dedicate this episode, friend.
For sure.
So hands over your hearts, everyone. So for this week's dedication, as always, we want to start out by dedicating this episode to our patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for all that you do. If you're interested, you guys can pop over to Patreon /The Fab Podcast to support your faves. We have bonus content, and you're also able to every week get a bonus, not a bonus, but a episode without the ads, which is always nice. So
Ad-free.
Yes, ad-free is the way to go. So, and then just a general dedication to my grandma Barbie. I may have dedicated this to her last week, but making it to 90 is a feat. I'm sure she's seen a lot. And she is literally the genesis of so many of my favorite people. So yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to my family too, though. I got to see like a lot of family these last 2 days. So I just felt really grateful for all of the love and family.
That's very rejuvenating.
Yes, it is. What about you, friend?
Yes, and because it's ultimately an accomplishment to get to a point in your life and people still like you. Because it's so
Ain't that
hard
right?
being a person. I can see how some people just... I just let it go.
It's like, this isn't the best.
Yeah, so congratulations for hanging in there, because you know what? Every day you have to fight. She's been fighting 90 years.
Yes, she has.
So yes, my dedication is going out to Victor Glover. He is the first Black man on the moon. Did you see the Artemis 2 being launched?
I heard about it.
Man, my timeline has been flooded with things. They were like, oh, are you a space nerd? Here you go. And so, yeah, so big dedication to him. And also just, it's always a great accomplishment. You worked hard. Also very attractive. So good for
Really?
you. Yeah, it's like that helps. It's like we need more hot people in the sciences.
Okay.
I say it all the time. And let's see, I am going to, because dedication is my time, it's going out to First Contact Day. That's right, April 5th is First Contact Day in the Star Trek universe, because humanity finally got its stuff together and the Vulcans were like, okay, we can finally talk to these bald monkeys. But yeah, in real life, no, we're nowhere close. And I actually have 3 dedications because it's a holiday. Dawn Staley for, Did you see her have to? Oh, this is a sports thing. Okay, so dedication over. So let me explain what happened to you.
What happened?
So the Final Four is going on, right?
Okay.
But so is the women's Final Four.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and so Dawn Staley, she's
Sounds like a black lady.
It is a blonde lady. She's actually a fashion icon. That's the only reason I know who she is.
Oh.
She always is like,
Laid. Okay.
yes.
Excellent.
And so being a head coach at a, a huge division school and stuff like that, she's also a former player. Like
She knows her stuff. Okay.
Yes, she's a bad. So she was beating the brakes off of, I want to say UConn, like the women's team or whatever. And the game wasn't even over yet. And their head coach came over and said something crazy to her.
Uh-oh.
And
Such as?
we don't know yet. Like that's the thing. They're not mic'd up. You know what I'm saying? But it was enough for her to elicit a reaction, and his team had to come over and smooth it over and stuff like that.
Really?
But yeah, it was.
Ooh, you know, it's probably something. Wow, people think they can say whatever they want these days
They
and not
sure
get stole
do.
on. A good thing she didn't.
But I do think she was loud enough that it was picked up where she was like, "I'll beat his ass." And
ooh. I'm just saying.
And I believe, but the thing was, she already had, and that's what he was upset about. Because it's bad enough. No one likes losing, but for some people, losing to a black femme is just more than they can take.
Wow.
And especially losing by a lot.
What? Oh, this is excellent.
It was not even close.
Oh, I love that for her.
Yeah. They didn't even make 50 points in that game.
Really?
I like bringing that up
real,
too.
Real bad.
That's what you're really upset about.
Right.
He was over there crying about, okay, so people did get kind of the story. He was saying that she was one of her players that ripped one of his players' jerseys.
Doesn't that happen sometimes in basketball?
Well,
like if you're, she like on purpose, like just grabbed it, and even still, it's a Final Four
I feel like
game.
if that had happened, there would have been a
foul
call
or something. Can't they run the?
Yeah, actually, what usually happens if you think there was a call that wasn't seen by one of the refs, you take them aside politely, like someone who has an education, and talk to them because they can do replays now and stuff like that. So he didn't though. He went over to the other head coach and started
crazy.
crying.
Wow.
So that's why my dedication went out to her this week, because it's been so much basketball.
Oh my goodness, it really has been. Too bad this isn't a sports podcast. So about this book, friend, I'm gonna give you a few of the stats here. So The House on Mango Street, it was published by Vintage Books. I guess that's a division of Penguin Random House in 1984. It's coming of age, literary fiction, and it's sort of in the format of like short vignettes, basically. And the page count is depending on the version that you get, between 110 and 130 pages. And yeah, really quick read. I think even the audiobook was 2 hours. So this was quick, and this was like what I felt like we needed to kind of like ease our way back into our book bag, because Lord knows we have really been super fake around here, friends. And
I had fun with it.
I did too.
But you're right.
But it's like, to not be the fakest of the fake, we do have to throw some books in there. So this was, a quick one. We were able to get it in and everything like that. So I don't know if you have a little bit about our author, Sandra. Would you like to share with the people?
I would. So, wait, is this what I had? No. This was her thing. No. Sorry.
You don't
I had it on the other thing. So I'm going to read her thing, what she said about herself. So I was born in Chicago in 1954, the third child and only daughter in a family of 7 children. I studied at Loyola University of Chicago with a BA in English in 1976 and the University of Iowa, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing, 1978. And then went on to write the classic, The House on Mango Street.
Excellent. Okay. Let me go. Where is mine?
And a lot. She's written a lot. I won't go through her whole thing, but she has written. But you would have to get that good at it. Oh, and I like it. She has it like in Spanish too, but I'm not even gonna try that.
That's what's up. I wish you would, though. That could be hilarious. Actually, don't do that.
Like, I will.
Her intentions for writing this book. So she was saying that she grew up in Chicago. And you know, Chicago is multicultural, so you know, even though everybody
segregated.
and segregated, even though everybody doesn't get along and necessarily live in the same area, you get by, but you're also not like plucked when you see somebody that's different. You just know that that's a thing. So you can feel other, but you still know that there are others. And she said that when she went to the University of Iowa, it was the first time she felt like super duper other though, because for those of you who don't know, Middle America, y'all, the flyover states, if you will, I mean, it's very homogenous, like in certain areas, especially in rural areas, a lot of these college towns, intentionally. And
they had to get rid of a lot of people to make room for just people they considered pale enough.
So imagine going from Chicago to that, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she was just saying, like, you know, she's in these classes, she's learning about, you know, writing and stuff like that. So she had to read a few books, like maybe 3 books. And one of them, she was like, I can't relate at all. But she was just feeling like, I'm not really seeing anybody writing from my voice. So when she started writing this book, she was kind of, I think there was some prompt about like like it was something about houses or something, like what's in your attic in your house, what's in your basement and all this stuff. And she was thinking about like her living experience. She's like, man, we moved a lot. Like we didn't go in the basement. It was disgusting. There wasn't nothing in the basement. So she was just like, I want to write from a completely different point of view, being from like a young poor person. I want to reflect what it was like for me to grow up. So I just thought that was interesting because, you know, that's the thing. The best stories are the ones where, the best stories you can tell, I should say, are the ones that come from a place where you're like, I'm missing that. And I want to see that reflected back in literature.
And just also historically, just visually, because, you know, we think of Spanish-speaking people as like these foreigners when most of the time they're just the descendants of Native Americans.
Yeah,
so it's very just historically just thinking about how she's going to Iowa where she feels othered when if things hadn't been so violent, like she should have a lot of people who look like her there.
Yeah, which is
you know,
crazy.
if things hadn't been. So, I mean, that it took a lot of violence and force to get them out of there. So it's really a type of homecoming to like go there, reclaim. It's like, hey, because Iowa's known for their writing program. Like that's a big deal. You got your MFA from Iowa. That's huge. But the fact that you went there, felt otherized, and that's wild in a historical context.
And it made me think about the fact that you've mentioned that too, just in terms of like going to art school and like a lot of the art that you consume and that it's considered classic or whatever isn't the art from your community. There aren't people that look like you. And so
it's not even the best art.
So I just think it's nice though. Like I like that that's the jumping off point for a lot of artists. And I think it's super important to do that so that your voice can be there. Because if your voice isn't there, it'll just get looked over.
And just being told, it's like, well, no one's really doing that. Or you're very much encouraged to shrink yourself into that thing or whatever.
Or thinking like, I'm not smart enough to get it. You know what I'm saying? Or when you read something that's supposed to be.
That way.
Well, that's a thing that people can feel. You know what I'm saying?
It
like
is,
when you're like.
Because I grew up in it though. Because that's one thing. Like if I was suddenly pushed into it in college, but like since I grew up with them, I know there's smart ones and dumb ones just like everybody else. So you can't really run that particular game on me because I've already seen your children.
Wow. You hear that, guys?
She's
not impressed.
I gotta give you another Rick quote. You missed the earlier Rick quotes, but you know, your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Amen. That's a really great one for right now, actually.
Yeah, Dan Harmon's a good writer.
My goodness. But let's get into the book itself, though, friends. So, like I said, I mean, it was a short read. It was easy. I got through it relatively quicker. And she basically chose to use a voice. Like, so the narrations are these short vignettes and stuff like that. So I feel like, I mean, you could listen to them individually or together. They all kind of go together. They're from different people's vantage points. But it was like deliberately a poor girl, like it's an adolescent voice, and it's very unpolished. It's not highly academic. You see
voice. It like, you know, as the book goes on, age.
Yes.
So like the speaking, the voice, everything. So that was very cool.
Yeah,
because that was a very nice literary trait. For people who don't know, we already said it in the live. If you saw the live, I said it in the live. I didn't really like the book. Well, here, I'll put it this way. It felt like homework. I was really anxious to like be done with it.
Really?
It didn't like, I had to put it, like it wasn't something where I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so in this. Like how I usually the book casts a spell on me and I don't want to stop listening until it's over. And this one was just a bit of a chore.
Really?
I don't know what it was because it's not like she's a bad writer. You know what it was? Because
was it her voice?
No,
reading it. Oh.
It was the.
No shade, Sandra. My bad.
I think for someone like me, I like. It's not like I even dislike short stories, but even the short stories I like them fleshed out a little bit more. Because these were like just poems.
It was
like a series of poems.
Yes.
And that's not something I usually enjoy or seek out.
Okay, gotcha.
Like a book of poems.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really done that since I was younger.
Yes.
So it's just
And in all fairness, she wrote this when she was extremely young. So like when they re-released a version like 20 years after she had written this book, you know, she was like, it's funny revisiting it because it is from when I first started writing and it was from, you know, like a younger perspective or whatever. So very much like if you're going to read this book, I do think, know that it's not like a cohesive one, you know, like full story. I mean, it's very short little stuff though, but
if
she
you
does
like,
cover a lot
it's
of
like
different things.
TikTok. That's what it was like because you go from boom to boom to boom. I feel like I never got enough time to get enough into the story or the
like,
character.
well, dang, what happened?
I'm a curious person. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't just dingle that. I'm like, there's so much in that thread.
Okay.
And I don't think there's nothing that's not even wrong.
Okay, that's
because
fair.
it's just not, it's the same way. Because obviously people don't agree with me about TikTok. It's like people love TikTok.
Absolutely.
It gives me like the shakes. Like I don't like when I'm doing their hair and they're like on TikTok, I'll like they're for an
clenching your
experience.
jaw.
But I want to tell them like, could you please put in your earbuds or like, you know, I just don't want that constant to this.
Yeah.
Oh, it stresses me out.
Yeah, I could see that. So let's tackle just some of the themes though in the book because I do feel like she really goes in on, you know,
a lot of relatable content.
Like a lot of the things, and of course, you know, these aren't like in-depth stories, but you know, because she's a young, poor Mexican American woman or young lady talking about these different experiences. You know, you see her observing, you know, domestic relationships and, you know, immigrant stories. You know, like there was one little short story about a guy who she was like, I don't even think I knew his name. But like basically just saying like he worked all the time, you know, like.
She just went to him with a dance and he just ended up dead.
Yeah.
Like to me, I'm just like, God. Yeah. Well, because one of our old friends showed up, Ricky Racism.
Yeah. He
was all up and through the book.
All up and through. It was just like stuff that I don't necessarily think about in the immigrant experience in terms of like, you know, well, actually I do kind of think about it because I'm like, I know most of the time you're just here to make a better life. I think about why people would leave their home. Yeah. It's gotta be bad.
Or you never even, I like the thing too, a lot of times you never even left, like ownership of the land just exchanged hands. It's like they say that all the time, like we didn't cross the border crossed us. We have been here.
The whole time.
The whole freaking time. The Spanish left.
Yeah,
like,
they did.
We're still here.
Yeah, they colonized the heck out of that place.
Yes, they did.
But yeah, it was just really.
And it's like, did you ever watch Mo on Netflix?
I think maybe the first episode.
Okay, that was
Arab
to
American
me
guy?
super enlightening. Yes, about the immigrant experience.
Okay.
Just about how you can be in legal limbo for years. Crazy. And then they talk about it's like, well, you're not contributing. It's like I can't legally work.
They won't let me.
They won't let me. And then it's all these insane rules. It's really, really bad. Ugh.
Well, one of the things I did like.
Okay.
Was there's a scene where they're outside doing double dutch and stuff. It was just really cute. It just made me think about being, it was just nostalgic. Because what it made me think about was my formative years, you know, because it was from that younger voice. So like it put me back there and because I grew up in Detroit, I mean, this wasn't a super wealthy area or anything like that. It wasn't, I mean, it was multicultural to a point. I mean, my neighborhood was mostly just black folks. But, you know, you'd step outside the city, there were Arab people, you know, whatever, all kinds of folks. But yeah, it just reminded me of like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about like just being in the neighborhood and like how quickly you can make friends and how you don't have to have anything in particular to make you just don't meet strangers. And yeah, the double dutch, it was just cute. Or the little hand games.
Yeah.
When they were saying the one, well, and I was like,
That
oh my
part
God,
was really nice about the book because, like, I
was
do
like, this is
remember.
so cute.
Here's something that, because I like that she encaptured that. Is that what's the word?
I'm sure they'll
Encompass
accept
that in something that,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like what has been erased in our history is that, like, positive Black neighborhood experience. It's always supposed to be just violence. Like, they just start at the crack epidemic. It's like, no, before they planted crack in the community, it was actually pretty nice.
It was pretty nice.
You
And
could
even
just-
when it was poor, even though it's poor and there was like, okay, you know that's the drug house, you just stay away. It's like a lower income neighborhood. It's like there's so much fun there though. Like I feel like you don't even know really you're poor, because that was also something she kind of touched on. Like, I mean, she knew.
Well, and
but
it just this idea of like what poverty is, but you still have so much.
still
Like
have
you
so
don't
much.
feel poor because
Until
it's just
somebody
about
else be like, you live there.
It just depends on what the standard is, because there are some people who live in slums who have been like, man, indoor water, huh? It's like that must be sweet. It's a whole thing. But I forgot the original point. It's fine.
Well,
but just that erasure
neighborhoods,
of
yeah.
and it's nice to know Hispanic people had that too, where it's just this idea of like, oh, that's what the point was. I was going to compare it to when later on in life, when I lived in a quote unquote good neighborhood or like a quiet neighborhood, it's creepy as hell. Like once you go from like what I was used to, was just hearing people's voices and children playing and just there's always somebody outside. Right. When you live on a street where there's nobody outside, like it's the middle of the afternoon, it feels like a horror movie. Like it's absolutely terrifying. And granted, there's not a lot of sirens and stuff, but there's also nothing. Like, and so you lose something there. Like to me, it was just like, damn, is everybody depressed? Like, you don't even really see people outside because you hire somebody to do your gardening. So you're not even outside doing your thing or whatever. So I think there's a poverty in that.
That's definitely a point. But I
got loud. Let me calm down. Let me get back to cool cat or calm cat.
Well, for me, it was just nice because I feel like she's trying to give a voice to, you know, it's easy to I mean, whether they're Hispanic or not, I think this was why this felt relatable to me, was just because it's like, you know, I know, like, I remember working, where was I at? I just remember somebody being like, when I told them where I lived, they were like, oh my God, that's the ghetto. Of course, you can imagine. It was Jessica.
Picture it.
It was Jessica. Oh my God, you live over there. And like the feeling of like, I mean, of course I was grownish when she said this, so I was like, bitch, you know what I mean?
It's like, who you talking to?
Out of here with
it's like,
that.
you are poor in manners.
You know what I mean? But like, I also remember that being like younger, and like you go over somebody's house and you're like, oh, like you start seeing the contrast and stuff like that. So like her longing for like wanting a house, because like the whole thing was like, my parents were like, oh, we're going to get a house. And then the house that they end up in is like crumbly and not quite, you know, what she thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. Like when she was talking to the nuns about her house and stuff and didn't want to point it out. And it's like, but if you knew the real, it's like, man, this shit can't make me feel no kind of way about yourself. You took a vow of poverty. You ain't got nothing. And you want to judge me and mine?
And you're supposed to work for this guy who's supposed to be nice to people without resources.
Right. That's supposed to be your husband.
Judgmental. What is going on?
Yeah, it's wild. Like I think that's something that I've always been very grateful to do, that mental jujitsu on anybody who tries to make me feel bad about myself. It's like, no, actually, you suck.
Period. Period. You suck.
It's like, you think you're better than me. You're not better than me.
You're not. Yeah, it just was very sweet to me that she was giving these poor neighborhoods, like trying to capture that, like you know that it's like, yeah, these aren't like the best houses and stuff like that, but you know what I mean? Like there's still joy here. There's still, you know, and then also she did touch on a lot of the violence that happens, domestic violence,
sexual violence,
or even just
sexual harassment at work. Like your very first job, somebody's like, hey, I'm going to make out with you.
Yeah, and it's like, no thanks.
Whoa, it's like, but it's my birthday.
Ew, always trying to pull a fast one.
Man, you got to watch out for that one.
It's really gross. Or even just pointing out that something's happening. It's just like, well, What do you want me to do about it? And it's like, I guess nothing.
Right. Like when she was like, Mom, I think Sandy's being assaulted. And she's like, girl, I got a basket of ironing to do. What you want me to do? Call the
and
cops?
y'all hungry, right?
It's like the cops gonna rape her too. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Crepe.
There's that word again.
Yeah. But seriously, that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah, it is.
So
I mean, and it's crazy too, because even when you're, I don't remember that kind of stuff in terms of like feeling like, oh, I gotta, you watch out, you make sure, you always are watching where you're going. You lock your doors. You look behind you. You know
look both ways before you cross the street.
You don't go by. There's certain things you don't do by yourself. Like there's a certain level of awareness that I had to have growing up where we grew up.
But those were good rules for life.
Anyway, yeah.
No matter where you are, people always want to act like it's like, oh, that's a dangerous neighborhood. It's like, man,
that kind of stuff.
The worst stuff happened to me in my life happened in a suburb.
Good neighborhood, right?
Yeah, quote unquote. So it's like, yeah, don't think that just because it's not on the news, know what I mean? Oof.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cute. I liked hearing, I guess because it was a little bit nostalgic for me because I really hadn't thought about, how I grew up and stuff like that. Oh my goodness.
This is where I think about it all the time.
Do you?
Yes, it was the best, especially there's my own neighborhood, but especially my grandmother's neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Shut up. Like my cousins live there too. So it was just, because, being an only child, it's different going out to play when you don't have backup. Everybody else has brothers and sisters. Yeah. So at least when I was at my grandmother's, I had backup.
That is nice.
And so it was, and plus that's where I was the majority of the summer. That's when you want to go outside anyway.
It
was the funnest days. Like, oh my gosh. And then that's why I talk about the crack epidemic so much, because I watched it all crumble.
It's so sad.
It is super sad.
Yeah. And knowing you have to at some point leave your neighborhood too, though, to
survive
become something. And that was something that she was trying to reckon with, because it's like you love this place that you're from, and you learn to not feel embarrassed or ashamed of it, but you have to like let it go before you can even come back and try to maybe make a difference in your neighborhood or whatever. So it was just really beautiful to see. To me, I was like, I like the narrative of like you can come from somewhere that's considered a throwaway place that nobody finds any value in, but it's like, that's my home though. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm from. Just that pride in where you're from. Like no matter if it's not like a moral failing because you're born into a situation.
Yeah, actually, because I will flip it every single time. The moral failing is not on the people who are put in ghettos; it's the people who built them. Yeah, like that's who the moral failing is on. Like but
that billboard is not in your neighborhood.
You're in your right, but you internalize that I must deserve this.
Little by
a lot
little.
of our society's messages are you kind of get what you deserve. At
Especially
least
when you're going to school and again being like shamed by the nuns at your school or whomever, you know what I'm saying? Or people being like, oh, you live there? And it's like there. And then you're looking at your place, you're like, I mean, I know this isn't like the Ritz or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where my mom lives. This is where I, sleep. This is where all my friends are. This is, you know what I mean? So to me, I've
always, because this is just how my brain is. Because every once in a while when I'm just out and about driving, I try to imagine what the outside of the window would look like if the colonizers had never come. Like what would have happened if the people who lived here were able to keep developing. And when you learn about the systems of agriculture they had and just their lives, it was really beautiful. So it's like, what would things have looked like had that had been able to still manifest and not be like this melange of concrete and rust?
Probably more colorful.
Definitely more colorful.
I'm gonna go with colorful for 200,
and just
Alex.
And just way more creative uses of even architecture. Because I'm sorry, Indiana isn't known for its architecture. We're known for our limestone, so hence all the concrete and rust. Because all of that, our hard ass water. Yeah, but what would it have been like if we were let's just use some of the natural infrastructure and technology to create something really beautiful?
That would be nice. I feel like another one of the vignettes that got me was she was saying it was a guy in her neighborhood who had a wife back home. I forget where she was from, But she finally, he was there working and then like was sending money home. Finally sends for his wife and their little son or whatever. And she gets there and they were like, she was a big lady. So she was like, she didn't come out the house that much, but and she only really spoke Spanish. So he kept trying to get her to speak English and stuff like that. And she would get mad at her son when he would like say Pepsi commercials. And like she'd just be like crying because she was so sad and wanted to go home. And how like the air quotes American dream, like, you know, I think about how sad and disappointing it must be at the same time recognizing the air quotes opportunity to have to leave the place that you call home in order just to make some money, and then you know, you're sending for your family, and then like they're miserable because this isn't. I mean, maybe it was their home in the past, like you said, but like it's not though. Like this is not. These aren't the houses I'm used to. These aren't the people. They're not. I mean, even just traveling, like anytime, like I've been in Mexico for any amount of time, or like when I was in Japan, it's like being somewhere where people are not speaking English at a certain point. It's like, oh my gosh, like. It's not like it's a relief, but it is nice when you're like, oh, I'm hearing English because I understand what's going on around me. So to constantly be surrounded by things that are unfamiliar, and just how like, yeah, that's got to be really, really hard for people, you know, when they're trying to make a life somewhere new.
That's true.
So I can appreciate places that warmly welcome immigrants and try to help them, you know, make a life for themselves, because there is that sense of like, okay, so let's pretend that we're moving to, you know, somewhere in South America. Okay. We're going to be expats.
Uruguay.
Sure.
Okay.
And, you know, how much are you expecting Uruguay to accommodate you? You know what I'm saying?
Not even a little.
So, you know, as an immigrant, you're going to have to, you know, probably learn the language, at least a little bit enough to get around and stuff like that. But also, you know, you're going to go there, and if you meet people who do speak English, who are from where you're from, you're going to build community with them too. But like, I don't know. I feel like if it was me, I feel like I'm the kind of person who, I want to get to know this place. I want to be a part of it, but I'm still going to be bringing a part of me with it. So how much of, like, are you trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you colonizing?
To assimilate.
Yeah, like assimilation.
Are you going to assimilate or colonize?
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be both, I feel like. I mean, because I'm not... That's what I'm saying. Like, if I build a community around people who I'm familiar with, there's nothing, because that's what happens, and people feel some kind of way. Like so we're in Indiana, like you see certain areas of our city that are largely Hispanic population or Latinx population, and you see grocery stores, and you see a whole community of people coming together, and I get why that happens. And then you get people who look at that and are like, man, what the fuck is this? You're in Indiana. I don't feel like that.
Well, you know what Indiana means?
Oh, man, I used to.
Land of Indians.
Yeah. That was tough. That was a tough one, Alex. Land of Indians for 300, Alex.
So it's like, they kind of go with the landscape to me. You know? Like, it doesn't piss me off, but I understand I'm a kind of a divergent thinker. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
But it's funny that you say that, because who you're talking about, so where I work, there's a lot of Spanish-speaking population, right? Like you said, every time there's a grocery store, because they gonna eat, and there's a restaurant in the grocery.
The food be good. The food be good, friends. When I see the granny,
when I know they don't speak no English,
the granny,
they know what I want
in the back with the apron on,
and they're like,
yes.
Okay, so maybe selling ice cream. It's great.
Oh my God.
So there's that, and so. It's interesting because whenever I go in there, they're so nice.
So nice.
They're smiling.
And they could be talking about me in Spanish, but they're smiling.
I mean, but they're saying hi in English. You know what I mean?
True.
Like and after a while, they know who you are and stuff like that. They know how I do or whatever. Yeah. But for me, because I'm someone who's not xenophobic, I'm allophilic, so I like all different types of people. To me, that's what makes life kind of cool. Like, to me, that's what blew my mind when we did go to Mexico. And just about how welcomed you feel. It's like, they're just like,
I'm up here plotting on the back end, like, how can I get back here? I'm pretty sure I could live here for like, literally thinking about.
I think I could,
I could be here for
I could hit the eject button.
Quarterly or something.
Man, you know what I mean? It was really fabulous. Oh, and this is a total aside. I'll get back to the thing, I promise.
Okay.
But remember when we were in Mexico and we met like these two girls from Israel? I don't know.
Were they from Israel?
I remember.
Did they live there for a while?
I don't know. This is the only thing I
Okay, go ahead.
remember is they were upset about the mandatory draft that the Israeli army has for their young people. And so we went back in like, what was that, 2003, 2004 or whatever. So they were talking about this back then. I just saw the other day that a lot of Israeli young people, they were having a protest and burning their draft cards because they're like, we don't
I'm not
like,
doing this.
they're like enlisting in the army is being part of a genocide and we don't want to be a part of it. So that should have been like part 4 of my dedication to them for taking a stand and stuff like that. But it made me think about the 2 girls we had met in Mexico who were complaining about
we
that.
met so many nice
We
folks,
did.
so,
We did. We met a lot of people from all over the world, which is why traveling is
awesome.
very fun and very cool and mind expanding. And it makes it hard to just hate people because it's like, oh, you're from blah, blah, blah. I hate blah, 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 blah.
And then I think, you know, the people who feel the most strong about that, if something were to happen here, where you had to leave your home and go somewhere else, so you're going to instantly know the language? You're going to, you know what I'm saying? If people are being
And they have
rude
a
to
saying
you,
about that too. Like today me, tomorrow you.
That part.
So what is going to happen when there's economic and ecological downturns and you got to go? Because you, of course, it could never happen to you though.
Of course not.
I mean,
Of course not.
look
Because
at
you're
me.
you.
It's like,
It's like, give me a
I'm
break.
sorry. I love the Lego movie. He was like, nothing bad ever happens to me. I was in Lego Batman where he's just humming along and here comes Joker.
my God.
'Cause,
Right,
yeah,
it's like, well,
that's
there he
how
is.
it is. Like life is all, every day you got to fight though.
So how would you, I mean, like, so I guess my question about moving somewhere is how do you handle that? Because you do
I don't
you want to be a part of the community.
Sure.
But also I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing a piece of home with you because you can't. It's not like I can erase who I am
I
and my
like it when
culture
people
and
do that
stuff.
here. Like I said, I like going to
Yeah.
the like Indian grocery or like I went to Saraga.
Like I'm gonna be pissed if I'm in Uruguay. It's like nobody here speaks English. Like people do that.
They
you know what I'm
do.
saying, in certain places, and it's like, I mean,
What's with that?
like
What's up
how
with
are you
that?
moving somewhere and then you want them to make all these, you know, accommodations for you, but then when it's on the other foot, you know,
You know what I think is nice when they have this is I don't know if our library does this, but I know the public libraries in Canada do this where they have like a desk for immigrants to help them get acclimated and move around just civically, you know, and how
That
to
would be
maneuver
nice.
stuff. Yeah, like, and this is just part of.
So they're not just in Mire like confused, and then you know what I mean? It's like you're just
Or
standing there like,
and something that like when it was called IEPUI, like they didn't have a service that a lot of schools have for foreign students to help them get acclimated and
Navigate,
stuff.
yeah.
You're just kind of like, there you go,
Bye.
welcome to Indiana. It's kind of racist,
Right.
and it's like.
welcome.
So good luck, you know,
Wow.
navigating this with your otherness and your accent. And keeping in mind, like, people will treat you like you're nothing, but it's like, these are usually the most intelligent people on earth.
And they're you know what I mean? Most of them are working really hard, and they're dealing with things that you would never even imagine. You know, a lot of the time, like I'm saying, you don't know what it's like to have to like. Everybody back home is dependent on you to send money home. Everybody, you know, or you're
you've seen
waiting
a
to send
killing
your
field.
That part, you know what I mean?
I know I never have.
It's just so sad. So like, I guess for me, it just was like, dang, man, you know,
Yeah.
it was.
That's
it was a
what
lot of
kept
things
coming
and
up in my
stuff.
mind in the book, though. Just the fact that this is, to me, ironic that they're being otherized in their own
And
country.
where they are actually from.
Yeah.
That's something.
Because it's easy to otherize through language.
Yeah,
So a
that's
lot of
very
times
true.
people never think past like just language, but it's like, yeah, but where are they from? Where are their parents
Yeah.
from? Like they go back further than you. People talk about like, oh, my people were on the Mayflower. It's like people still be saying that.
God. I mean, like a flex?
Yes.
Ew. It's like we're the original genociders. That's what
But their mythology is those were the
Manifest
heroes.
destiny, that's
they
right,
were escaping
friends.
religious
Aw.
persecution and were
Or was it that you guys were just extremists?
well.
We won't go there.
We won't. But yeah, if that's part of your, that's been a big part of my week too, just counter narratives.
Okay.
Like people prefer the narrative where they get to be the hero.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you know, makes sense, but
So
it's just like that's
that's-
not possible all the time
well,
because it's not true.
but that's all you're shown in media.
Yeah.
Like the people we're talking about aren't probably picking this book up or anything like it. They feel like they've
true
been
that.
told everything. I don't know what video, if you sent it to me or what, where somebody in one of the Iowa-like states was, they were complaining about Juneteenth being a holiday. And we're basically just saying it was just a made-up holiday. You know what I mean? But there was another person there who was like, actually, this is the first time that everyone in the country got to be free, and I think it should be recognized. So thanks to all the, allies. But, it has to be, like I said, we have a lot of deconstructing to do, starting with the narratives we tell ourselves. But this is why we really encourage reading on this podcast. Because it really is a way to step into somebody else's narrative and quiet your own, which is why I think a lot of people don't like it.
Probably not. But also, I think that was the overall, one of the overall messages was just like, sometimes to save yourself, like you have to put yourself in art. You know what I mean?
I did really like the line where she was like, keep writing. Writing keeps you free.
It's beautiful.
I really like that line.
Very, very beautiful. You know what? That's a good place to take a little break, friend. What do you think?
All right.
All right, let's take a break, guys. We'll be right back. So we're back from the break, and we're gonna wrap up our review of The House on Mango Street. For me, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I feel like this really, it was this, I don't know what I was expecting. So I knew that it was the vignettes, it was the short stories. I still liked the book, even though it was, kind of choppy or whatever. Because I just liked the voice. I liked the point of view. I think I like what she was trying to do. And I think it's important for people like herself to put these kind of voices out there. Whether or not it's your storytelling sort of style, I think that's probably up to the person. But overall, I feel like the message was great. I think the writing was really good. And if I had to rate this book, I would give it, I'm going to give it 3 3/4 mangoes.
3 3/4. I was going to do a mango-based system, and I'm still going to.
Do what you want.
So, like I said, for Kat, it wasn't hitting, but maybe it's just kind of like how onions aren't bad. I just don't like them. So because there was nothing about this. It was definitely no Winterset Hollow. This was. This was something where I can recognize the talent. This isn't for me. So I just have to give it 3 out of 5 mangoes. But I feel bad about it because it's like, and this is a clearly talented woman. I'm going to try to read some of her other stuff that's in different styles. Because I would think I just wanted more. Like, the stories just left me hungry. So, yeah, that was my big thing. But, yeah. I'm glad I read it, though, because it is a classic. I was reading up later about it. I was like, oh, my gosh, this is like recommended reading and all this other stuff. So,
absolutely.
But, yeah, and I think it's also a little dynamic because has this ever happened before where you like it and I don't, or I like it and you don't?
I'm sure it has. I feel like there's been like 250-something episodes. It has to have. It doesn't happen often.
It doesn't. We usually have very similar tastes. But most of the world agrees with you.
But like the fact, because you're like, oh my God, like let me hurry up and get through it. Like that's crazy. I didn't feel like
I
that
actually
at all.
sped it up towards the end. I was just like, okay, let me just figure out what happens and stuff like that. Because I knew there wasn't going to be a conclusion. That was the thing. Like most stories have beginning, middle, end. I knew this wasn't going to be like wrapped up in any way because there was no real, even though she's the narrator, there's so many characters, there's not really so I couldn't.
I don't know, I felt the through line of it all though. But fair enough. I think it comes down maybe to just the preference of the way you're telling the story. Yeah, absolutely. So but I picked up what she was putting down. I liked it. I thought she did a good job. Okay, so now that we rated the book, I feel like we have a few extra little moments here, friend, just to talk about, the world.
What's popped
up. And I feel like something that everybody's talking about is just, there's like this list of the blacks who support Trump. And it's just.
My YouTube people call them maggers.
Oh.
Like as in magger, please.
Wow. Well, there's a huge list. I think the first one that popped up for me was the one about Chile.
Yes, that was very much because they're supposed to be going on tour, so they're really trying to clean that up. Because Salt released the whole thing where she was like, "Don't let anyone discourage you about your." Oh, you didn't hear about that? Salt.
I don't think I heard. No.
Yeah,
no.
Salt had like typed her a little response on social media or something about how like, don't make anybody make you feel bad, you blah blah blah. And it's like, girl,
Is Salt MAGA?
no, she's not mad. Like
Is she MAGA?
that I don't know.
Is
Because here's
Salt-
the other thing. MAGA is very good at their branding, and their branding is very much around worshiping wealth. So a lot of times when you want to be seen as associated with wealth, you'll just go with the brand that's associated with wealth, even though there's money everywhere. But also it seems like the thing that when we're looking at this list, a lot of things that I noticed is these people might need a little bit of money, and MAGA has been known to throw out money. I mean, they're
To the dolls, honey.
yeah, yeah, because they know you need the blacks. If you want the culture, you need the blacks.
It's just, so I don't know. I'm not going to put that on that lady if she's not, but I think with, maybe because she, like you said, she popped up to support Chili or whatever, and Chili kind of was like, no, the post that she posted was like of Michelle Obama, somebody saying that she was a man or something like that. And she thought that it was something about veterans. Like, I don't know, like one of them things.
Because she was trying to say, like, I'm old, y'all. I'm not good
I didn't
at
really
technology.
know, which
maybe.
but that's just like how Trump tried to say, oh, I didn't see the part about the Obamas at the end, the monkey part. I just saw the
Whatever.
beginning part. That's
You
what
knew.
it kind
And
of feels
here's
like.
the thing too, and also people can go back and look at what you've liked. You liked a lot of MAGA content, so it wasn't just that
And
one,
say it
baby.
with your chest if you do. If somebody were
Right.
to pull what the things that I like, you're gonna know how I feel about certain things, and I have to be okay with it. I know every time I'm liking something, it's like, well, if somebody were to go back and look, they're gonna see this. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. You have to defend it or not or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's not surprising because I do feel like lots of black folks are conservative though. You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to like that whole Jesus-y thing or Christian thing, I should say, on
It's
Easter.
the branding.
It's the branding of it all.
And it has been in the past a way to keep ourselves safe. I think. You know what I mean? Like the what is it, acceptability, respectability politics. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think it really worked, but the idea, it's a narrative that people like, and I think some of it did help. Like it is different when you're arresting Martin Luther King while he's wearing a suit as opposed to if he had on like, sweats or something like that.
Sure.
Like that. There is something
Visually.
Yeah, like media works a lot of times on a visual level, so there's something to that. But I think a lot of the MAGA girls are just a little hard up, and a lot of them need pardons too. Because
that's what it's either you're in legal troubles, literal and actual legal trouble. You are an extreme, not even extreme, but you're just like, I'm gonna make my money. I don't have a moral compass when it comes to where my money comes from because I'm a capitalist and I'm an American.
Right.
And those are two values. I mean, like you said, money is
that Jesus
over
died
everything.
for.
On Easter.
On Easter.
You know.
I mean, there was more than just the event. There was his whole life's work.
Well, let's ignore that though.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not really get into that.
He was like, hey, just make a lot of money and put me on a necklace. He said that all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh. He's known for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these people on this list, because I actually went over to theroot.com and it was so funny because they had like this whole list, a list of black Hollywood celebs backing Donald Trump. And so there's some of the people you would expect to see. Like you got Kanye on there. We've seen him.
But I always, like I said, I feel like this man has had a catastrophic brain injury. Most people, I think it's really more on the onus of the people who platform him. Like when people have dementia and we get them on tape saying stuff crazy, we're not like, oh, that person's crazy. It's really on the person who platformed them knowing that that person has a mental illness.
This is like, I feel like with Wendy Williams or something. Is something wrong with that lady?
I think she's got some stuff going on.
Like
I remember this
letting her
happened
be
with
out and
Quincy
saying
Jones
stuff.
after a while. He started saying crazy stuff before he died. And it was
have to
kind of like, you have to, at a
reel him
certain
back
point,
in.
you have to take the keys away from grandpa. So yes, mental illness, because we can't see it, a lot of times it's easier to dismiss it. But like mental illness can seriously mess you up.
It surely can.
So, and especially if you don't have people around you who care for you, Like there's no way to have a reality touchstone. It would have been the same as if he had crushed his leg. Like everybody can see that, so we wouldn't make fun of him for limping. But like because he can't think good thoughts, it's because you
get his ass off TV. Like your handlers need to get your ass.
Yeah, like it's the people
Get your ass off
platforming him who
TV.
are ultimately who don't have catastrophic brain injuries.
But also when capitalism is the only thing that we respect and making money, and you're looking at him as a cash cow, it's like of course you don't give a damn if he's out there saying crazy stuff.
Yeah, so I think
sad
for him,
overall.
for that one. Like I said,
but we can let's hit the list because I can understand
and
that point.
Waka
Flocka I already
so
knew.
when was his last hit?
So this is a tweet from 2024. So this isn't any. That's what I was about to say. I knew that he was already supporting Donald Trump, but he said, "I'm not calling Trump a racist or Biden a racist. I just want what's best for my family, community, and future. Name calling tied to emotion in my book. I just see the facts and truth."
Being racist isn't about name calling. It's really more about a system in place. It's not even about individuals. Like that's what I dislike a lot of times about we're like, oh, we got this racist up out of here. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like they weren't being racist all by themselves.
No, it was a whole system.
And we can't also, this is the thing too, because like, a lot of times use, black celebrities to flip it. It's like, actually, y'all are being racist towards white people. No, it's the same way women can't be sexist towards men. Like we can be bigoted towards men.
Name a country where it's like,
we don't let men drive.
Rights
we just don't let them drive. They're too violent. Like we don't let them vote, and we don't. Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like you can't. It doesn't go both ways. Sexy Red, God love her. I can't say I'm surprised because once again, like. And it's very important to remember, too, MAGA's not dumb. They have and I've been hearing it for years, even before Donald Trump. A lot of conservative talking points get leaked. Like they know who to go after, the influencers and stuff like that.
Well, you got Nicki Minaj, And
also
we know that's a pardon. We know that's pardon
It's a pardon and also money. Like there's been lots and lots of talk. Because once again, she hasn't toured or had an album in a long time either. So probably.
Her wigs are getting bad.
You can tell. You can just tell the money's probably a little low, and her partner isn't an earner.
What about Amber Rose? Are you shocked to hear
no,
that
she's always been problematic. Yeah,
she's also not black. Remember, she made it a point to make sure that we knew she wasn't black. All right, lady. But you, of course, and that's the thing. Like, so you're not black, but you use black culture to prop yourself up to a point where we know who you are. You've used black people to get visible. Yeah, and now you're not black or whatever. And
then you wonder why. It's like, well, why is everything drying up?
Girl, and why were you in the car with Nick Cannon driving around? Did you see that whole little thing?
So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with Nick Cannon too, because he's been off the rails for a while too. Because he's doing that MAGA thing like Elon was doing, where it's this idea you got to have all these kids. Like it's the.
I think it's the manosphere. That's what I'm saying. That's where the Venn diagram will have that shit overlapping, where it's just like, to be an alpha male, you have to hunch everybody, you have to impregnate everybody.
You have to have all the money in the world.
And you do, but then you're still like just you. You know what I mean? And it's like now you still have to sit with that. It's like, well, it didn't actually.
That's super sad.
Fix anything, but just those two clowns being in the car talking about some damn, the Republicans were the ones who
free the slaves,
and
it's
the
like
Democrats were the ones. It's like, bitch,
that was in the 1800s.
This is so basic, right? Like, so you can't just say that in a vacuum. Like, you have to add the context.
You have to add it's like, so why was there a switch in the process? It's like, was there something that happened in the 60s that made the Dixiecrats all of a sudden become Republicans?
Exactly.
And made President Johnson say we've lost the South for a generation?
I bet you she can't answer that question. DJ Academics, I'm not even
don't
going
know anything
there.
about him.
I feel like I don't know like what the DJ that he is. I don't know anything about his DJing career. I just know him as a troll. Like everybody in black, I feel like not everybody in black culture, but like there's a certain area of hip hop and stuff like that where he's into it with people all the time. People are always beefing with DJ Academics about some ignorant he has said.
Okay,
every
I think
single
my
time.
timeline is probably keeping him away from me.
As they should.
Same thing with
Kodak Black.
I don't know
Chief
anything about
Keef,
him.
Me either. It just sounds like, of course, they do. Ice Cube. We kind of heard about him.
Yeah, I heard some of his stuff. Once again, he's been rich for a very long time. Same with Dennis Rodman.
Like these are just people who, yes, it feels
they've
like
been gone for a while. And what are you gonna do?
And have fun over there.
Yeah.
You know, but my thing is like, don't crawl back to the Black community and
Like Stacey
expect
Dash.
me to now. Yeah, like I'm not financially supporting your comeback.
No.
I'm just saying like you could actually be sorry and figure all that out, and that's great. Save that for the people who actually give a fuck about you. I don't know you like that.
Your
I'm
fans.
not counting on you.
Yeah.
The people who you actually disappoint. I mean, like, you know, obviously it's not awesome.
And I'm trying to get to a point where these people are less influential outside of their spheres of expertise, which is entertainment.
Yes.
These are all entertaining people, and I don't want to keep them from making a living, but there's really nothing about them that makes me want to respect their views on politics. Like, a lot of times, too, when they talk, you can tell they don't even understand the mechanics of government. And even one time Snoop, not even knowing the difference between like fantasy and reality, like he thought Game of Thrones was like a historical drama. You know what I mean? Like these are the type of people where it's
all
like
that weed, Uncle Snoop. My God,
these like and I was like, and I've loved Snoop's work. You know what I mean? Over the years, he's actually
the body of work.
Why on earth did I know why. I was on Prime Video and Underdogs came on, which was Snoop's football movie where he was like it was Mighty Ducks, but him with football.
And he cussed so much in that movie.
They did. It was I'm mad at myself because it was kind of funny. Yeah, Mike Epps is in it, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
It was good. It was cute.
It was very, but it's like, and same thing with Mike Epps. I'm not gonna. Once again, big fan. I'm actually a big fan of Mike Epps. I'm not super interested in his takes on like land easement or what we should be doing with budgeting. Like he's good for the ha-has.
Fair enough, friend.
And I would take his advice on how to be entertaining and how to do, funny movies. But I wouldn't and flip houses. Like he seems to be good at that.
Unless you're pointing to, like unless there was some evidence or some proof that like you had some expertise in that area.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because it shows he's got proof. Like he's good at that stuff. Yeah. So I would listen to him about that. And I'm not saying he's even trying to be in politics. Right. I'm just using him as an example. Like, these are just like famous people who are very disconnected from the realities that most people are facing. So, I mean, I get it. They're influential because they're famous, but they really shouldn't be.
Yeah, not to that extent. No,
nah,
definitely not. All right. Well, what was on your heart this week? What did you see? Anything?
Oh, now someone I do like listening to. I always joke and say he's my favorite pastor, Josh Johnson.
Oh,
he gives us an hour every week. And a lot of times I do speed it up because he's from Louisiana and talks a little slow, and they are long, like they're over an hour and stuff. But he was touching on Into the Manosphere, which we did an episode on previously. And I was like, I'm interested to hear his thoughts. I dived into that. I was so pleased to hear he came to the exact same conclusion that Moni and I came to, which was it was pimping. He's like, these guys are, but he was talking about how he almost fell for it and stuff like that until he realized, he was like, wait a minute, they just use models on the things? Like, because he was like a skinny teen, and bought the big old thing of protein powder. And,
these muscles, boy.
I won't spoil it, but it's very, very funny. But he's giving, and he also touched on the fact that the reason it resonates is because they are addressing a real problem that men are facing. It's just they're not offering them anything.
No, but a subscription to how to be a better whatever.
Right, and that's the pimping. Yes, that's why he laid out the pimp game and stuff like that. And I was like,
I got what you need, boy.
Yeah. And then finally you look up one day and be like, oh, wait, you have all my money and I didn't get
I have this protein powder and I still ain't got no muscles.
Right, and girls still hate me.
Right. Because there was zero self-development there.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend for people who are just like maybe got an hour to just listen to Josh Johnson. And he's, once again, I love the way he tells stories. He actually, I can tell he's taking a page from the school of Dave Chappelle, where he sets up a story where you think it's just a little funny story, and then he ties his bigger story back into that. He's very good at that. That's always his, that's why he's able to do what he does, where he's basically just talking.
He's pretty impressive.
He is.
I have to say.
Yes.
I really enjoy him. That's a really great way to end things. On a positive Black person doing the good work. We appreciate Josh, man. He's definitely one of my faves.
And he's not MAGA.
He's not MAGA.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
He's just out here working.
Just being
regular. He's out here putting, what I mean?
Trying to put y'all up on game. Yeah. I think it is important.
How much money would it take for you to do a MAGA endorsement?
I don't think I could, man.
Okay.
Like, I already have a good life. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with what I've got. I don't have to do that.
That's good. You don't have the soul of a whore. That's good.
I didn't say that. I mean, not for MAGA.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just like, I'll
could I
just
be
do
the same?
anything for money. Money,
Yeah,
money,
no.
Okay.
No, I won't do
good.
anything for money.
Good. I'm sorry.
And my kids are watching. You know, I don't want them out here whoring themselves for
you
money
want
because
to
there's
be a
things that's
good
more important.
parent.
I do. Even if I did have a soul of an air quotes hua, I think I would have to tuck that away because I'm like, oh gosh, my children are watching. I wouldn't ask them to choose that, so I can't choose that for myself. Okay. What about you?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I would pay money
I'm
to
good to
not. Yeah.
It's just not. I don't want to be associated.
Just
because
to bring it back to the book, let me do a little Josh Johnson real quick.
Do it.
To me, that is poverty when it's never enough money. Like when you are suddenly like so rich that you're isolated, where you're disconnected from your human family. Like to me, that's poverty. And I think that was a theme of the book.
Yeah, and then now I don't even know why you're around. You know, and then I'm Kanye and I have a mental health crisis and nobody gives a fuck about me because I'm just a dollar sign or whoever. You know what I mean? So it gets really gross. So yeah, I don't think I would like that.
No, it's really, really sad. Like there's, that's an Audre Lorde quote. It's like without community, there's no liberation.
We're at that special place in the episode where we have to spin the wheel. Definitely have to. Spin it. Okay. So we have another book, friend. Look at us. The Little Engines That Could. So we're going to be reviewing There by Tommy Orange. And I'm excited. I kept seeing the book cover. I kept seeing little blurbs about it. It's an Indigenous writer, so I'm excited to get into that book next week. And hopefully you guys will come back and join us. In the meantime, I guess.
Yeah, this is something I was curious about because I want to know what the orange shirt is about. I'm a little afraid.
The book might explain it?
I think so.
Really?
Well, that's when I was reading about the book.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of mentioned. So I was like, I'm going to find it. I'm like, but I have a feeling it might bum me out.
I'm ready to get into it, friend. It should be good.
That's fine because I'm well rested.
Okay, excellent. So guys, get into the things that you love and love what you do.
Because your body belongs to you guys.
Amen.
Keep the racism off.
Yeah, definitely. Shimmy it off. Let it go. Also, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezene M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.